Hello guys, and welcome back to another um, game video. Yay, it's Lex, I'm back. So basically, yesterday I did the video, the top 5 best video game consoles ever. Well, today we're going to do something that's the opposite. We're doing the top 5 worst video game consoles ever. 5. The Philips CDI. CDI was a CD-based game that came out in 1993. So basically, most of the games weren't really bad. It's just that the game console itself was pretty sucky. They did have like a lot of controllers. The wireless one, this one controller that was for the picture that I showed you of what it looks like. This one controller that you hold like this that looks like a little bit of a Wii Pro controller. I believe that's the best one. And this one where you hold like the 3DO. Never mind. Forget I said that. It's like a little bit of an SNES controller, but the D-pad has like this joystick thing, and it's pretty annoying. But anyway, the 3DO was still bad, and it was a really sucky game console. Oh, and also really cool, it actually had the permission to make Nintendo games. They only made like 4. They had Hotel Mario, Link the Faces of Evil, Zelda the Wand of Gamelon, and Zelda's Adventure. And I'll tell you what, those games were horrible. The graphics were notorious, especially the cutscenes. The graphics were pretty cool, but definitely the cutscenes were pretty notorious. But there was actually a couple of compliments for the game. People said that it was really, really colorful. But anyway, the CDI just sucks. 4. The 2DS. Okay, no offense, but I don't really like the 2DS. Even though it's basically like the 3DS, the only thing I really don't like about it, it's just the design. I mean, like, it just doesn't look like a real 3DS. It's worse than a DS. Okay, so basically, I'm not trying to get you mad. The 2DS is still a great console. I wouldn't say it's a bad one. It's just the design of the console, handheld or whatever you can say. It's just not really cool. So yeah, the 2DS didn't really die or anything. It's still around today. I'm just saying that the design was not really cool, and it doesn't really bring me back to when the DS and the 3DS were. 3. The Virtual Boy. Even though I never played this, well, I never even played anything of these except for the 2DS, the Virtual Boy was supposed to be virtual reality. It was actually, I also reminded you about it in my top 5 best video game consoles ever. It was supposed to replace the 64 before it even came out. And also really cool, the 64 was supposed to be called the Ultra 64, and the Virtual Boy was supposed to be called the VR32, I think, or the 36. I don't know. It's just that the games only play in red and black, and there's barely any games. I mean, seriously, you can hold the entire video game library of the Virtual Boy in your one hand. Yeah, that's how many games they were. And the games weren't bad, except Nintendo said it was supposed to be virtual reality. But apparently they lied. Well, I think it's because most of them weren't really virtual realities because they weren't really meant to be virtual reality. Well, I mean, like, they did actually have a couple of games that were virtual reality. Like, they had Wario Land, but that wasn't virtual reality. But I can agree that it shouldn't even be virtual reality because if you did, it wouldn't really give the good experience. And also, most people say that the Virtual Boy looks like a piece of crap. But I'm not gonna lie, I actually like the design. It looks like an Oculus Rift. But still, the Virtual Boy is not really a good console, and it just flopped right away.
Number 2, the Panasonic 3DO.
Don't even get me started on the 3DO. Oh my gosh. Dude, that thing sucks. Well, I mean, like, I never played it. Like I said, I never played any of these consoles. But I just know the 3DO sucks. It's 32 bits. And what I really hate about their company is that they insulted Nintendo and Sega by getting a Super Nintendo and a Sega Genesis and literally just throwing it on the ground and call them baby toys. That just made me so mad. I just want to punch them in the face. And so basically they had really lots of models of the 3DO. Yeah, and it was like the real thing. It was really good because it was awesome. But it actually just was a real piece of crap. And also, each and every model had only one input controller. And I think, what were they thinking? Maybe they would be like, oh, that's a good idea. How about let's make just one input controller that you plug into the system. And then we can make another one on the controller and so you can daisy chain them up. What were they thinking?
Number 1, Tiger Electronics.
Okay, this is it. This is the number 1 worst video game console ever. I'm just gonna warn you, it's not really a video game console, but their company and and they made bunches of stuff. And this is like the worst video games ever. Tiger Electronics. I'm going to say that the Tiger Electronics were kind of like Game & Watch. I never even played a Game & Watch, but I think I know it's the same thing. But dude, it sucked so bad. And even, it was so outdated, and it never gave up. It just kept going and going and going, like chicken pox. And everybody got it. And the games were so horrible. I mean, seriously. It had everything. It had Konami games, Capcom games, Sega games such as Sonic, Alter Beast. It had everything. It was like some sort of like domination, and it brought the gaming industry down. I mean, seriously. When the Nintendo Game Boy came out, the Konami and Capcom actually made handheld games, but they kind of sucked. They were like the Tiger. But when the Game Boy came, they gave up. But when the Game Boy came, you guessed it, Tiger never gave up. It just kept going and going and going. And then they made wrist games, which is basically, it's like a Game & Watch. You actually like play it on your wrist. And yeah. Well, they actually had everything. No, I mean everything. They had Pokemon walkie-talkies, and they even made their own video game system, the Gamecom. I'm just not gonna lie, the Gamecom was actually pretty good. Like, they were better than the Tiger Electronics. The only problem was it was kind of red and black and white, just like the Game Boy. And it still kind of sucked, but the graphics were way better, and it was the very first touchscreen game console. And so then they were about to give up, but then they decided. So when the Virtual Boy came out, they decided, how about let's do something similar to the Virtual Boy? And that's when they made they made the worst video game console ever, the R-Zone. So basically, it's basically a crappy version of the Virtual Boy. It's like some sort of thing, and it looks really weird. It has a head strap, and I don't know why. It has a controller, and you just play also these games in red and black. But anyway, that's my top 5 worst video game consoles ever. Please like, comment, and subscribe to both of my channels. Bye.